Hey everyone, this is Zero X Wing, and you're listening to the Rune-Based Podcast. Here at the Rune-Based Podcast, we get the chance to talk to entrepreneurs, developers, and community members in the THORChain ecosystem and just talk about the work that they're doing in THORChain and DeFi more broadly. Today, I had the pleasure of speaking with FamiliarCow, the founder of Vanir Threads. And Vanir Threads are bridging the world of physical products and digital products like NFTs and real-world physical products. They sent me this. This is the THOR Force 1. For anybody that's watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm holding up here. It's a customized Airforce 1 shoe that's extremely elegant and well done, and it's customized in the spirit of THORChain. FamiliarCow is a super passionate and well-spoken member of the THORChain community, and he brings a lot of just heart and love and craftsmanship into the products that he's creating. And that energy, that excitement, that love is very much transferable in the experience that I had unboxing this shoe. I can't say enough good things about it. And through this interview, you'll hear me gush about it. In this conversation, FamiliarCow and I talk about his story and background. We talk about what is Vanir Threads and what the inspiration is behind it, what the vision is for it, and what are some of the interesting things you can do at the intersection of NFTs and digital assets and then real world assets. And we talk about a lot about NFTs. We can relate on that now with like potential crossovers between Thor guards and Vanir Threads in the future. This was one of the more fun conversations that I've had on this podcast. It was really just great talking with FamiliarCow, and we were aligned on all the things that brought us first into the THORChain community and then to create different products in the THORChain ecosystem. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the interview, and I will see you on the inside. Peace. Hey everybody, this is Zero X Wing, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by a good friend and fellow builder in the THORChain ecosystem, FamiliarCow of Vanir Threads. FamiliarCow, thank you for joining me.
What's going on?
Hanging out, just enjoying these conversations as always. And Vanir Threads is something that before you and I connected, I saw your work on Twitter. Anybody might be familiar with what I now have with me here, thanks to you, is what we call the THOR Force 1s. Boom, look at us. We're THOR Force 1 brothers. And it's an incredible product. I got to hand it to you. I don't think the photos on Twitter do it justice.
Photos never do a product like this justice. Whenever there's kind of premium product and you're looking at photos of it online, it's a completely different experience, like really having it in person,
Absolutely is. And we're going to talk more about that. But before we go down that rabbit hole, which I'm excited to go down with you, let's catch the audience up on the context. You want to give us a super quick elevator pitch on what is Vanir Threads, and then we'll talk about the story of it.
Sure. Vanir Threads is bringing physical and digital together, metaverse and universe. We are creating physical products that are NFTs and they exist in the real world as well. So we are starting out with the THOR Force 1 that is available as an NFT, and then it's claimable to be a real product. So if you own the THOR Force 1 NFT, you'll be able to claim the real THOR Force 1. So that is our entire mission.
Awesome. So you start with the digital and then there's a claim process.
Yes, it manifests in reality after claiming.
I love it. And then is there like a property on the NFT that shows like unclaimed or claimed, and so it might affect like secondary value or something?
Yes, exactly. So what I didn't want people to have the NFT and say like I have to burn it or something like that in order to claim the real physical. So in the actual NFT, there will be metadata that'll say whether it's claimed or unclaimed. That way there's a pleasant experience shopping for NFT on like a secondary marketplace or something. So yeah, metadata will be there to say whether it's claimed or not.
Awesome. Okay, I want to geek out completely on this and some of those mechanics. But I'm going to just put a little star next to that to come back to here in a few minutes. Before we get to that, I love to, get the backstory here and learn about the person behind the project, or the mask behind the project, if you will, in this case. So give us a bit of background on your story. What was your background, and then how did you come into crypto and THORChain and eventually Vanir Threads?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I'm actually an environmental engineer. I work at some remediation sites, and that's completely unrelated, obviously, to what I'm doing here. But I'm just really into aesthetics. I'm really into fashion, and I also love sneakers as well. There's some of my personal pairs behind me that I love. So let's put the Vanir Threads stuff aside right now, I'll just give you my intro, I guess. I joined Coinbase in 2014, and I wasn't like sticking around or anything like that. I was just in it for, in it for some profits back then, and I was in and out of the space for a couple of years. And then I was in 2017. And then in February, I first learned about THORChain. Like before then, I was the kind of guy that was like, anything that's not Bitcoin or Ethereum is, shitcoin. Like I didn't really understand anything beyond that. I didn't really do too much research on it. But funnily enough, this actually comes from Wall Street Bets God on Twitter. Shout out Wall Street Bets God, because that dude was talking about Rune, and I was like, I was just like, all right, he's just chilling another shitcoin or whatever. So I started looking into it, and that's when I read the THORChain economics paper, which is probably the single most thing that impressed me the most about the project, and that's really that turned me onto it. And that's when I just started. You start going down the Rune rabbit hole, and then there's no, you can't see the light again. It's just you're in just a new reality, and that's the reality I want to be in.
Absolutely. What was the timeline for that? Like, when did you discover that WSB God tweet and white paper?
I think he started talking about it in January or so, and I saw a couple more tweets maybe leading up in like February. That's when I started really buying and like really getting deep into THORChain. Like I was literally like doing research on THORChain probably like 6 to 8 hours a day for like weeks. Wow. Because there's literally there's so much content in just the THORChain ecosystem to read and catch, and just like really understanding how all the incentives align. Because that's really what THORChain is. It's just an alignment of economic incentives, because it's a trustless, permissionless, anonymous network, right? So all the incentives need to align. And that's really what impressed me and amazed me. And obviously the whole decentralized DEX narrative there is just really, it's technically impressive, and it's, that's the future of the crypto economy, really.
Yeah, absolutely. How would you describe, what would you give as the elevator pitch for THORChain to somebody who is unfamiliar?
THORChain is a exchange where you can exchange layer 1 Bitcoin, like unwrapped Bitcoin. You can have Bitcoin and say, I want Ethereum instead. And you can send your Bitcoin and someone will send you Ethereum. But obviously not just for those assets. It will work for any assets that's supported by the chain. So currently, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, the main ones, any ERC20 token. It's just the permissionless way to swap between tokens, which wasn't possible before unless you use a centralized exchange. That's what's really amazing about it.
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of put you on the spot there, but that was good. And it's like, and that's our kind of role here. Like, it's such early days, and this is such critical infrastructure for the ecosystem that, like right now, to trade between crypto assets on different blockchains, you have to go through a centralized custodial intermediary, which undermines the value and the point of decentralized currencies and crypto assets in the first place.
Exactly. If you're not holding your coins on a wallet, you don't own them. You own like a checkbox in someone else's ledger. You basically own a PayPal number that someone could just type in their spreadsheet and edit. And if you've ever dealt with like Coinbase support or anything like that, you'll know that you really do not like it's great as a fiat on ramp, as like, hey, I need to put money into the system. And I think that's where the next real value add for THORChain will be, is in the fiat onboarding, which I hope that some of the front ends for THORChain will be able to tackle.
Yeah.
But that's really where the value add of Coinbase is. Yeah. So I use Coinbase to onboard and off my fiat. Yeah. It's not against Coinbase, but it's just not in the ethos of crypto or Bitcoin.
Exactly. I think that, fiat on and off ramps, I think are a very easy choke point for regulators and for states. So I don't think that that'll happen ever in a fully decentralized fashion unless you have some sort of, peer-to-peer action. But even those peer-to-peer marketplaces get regulated pretty quickly in KYC, like local Bitcoins, Binance P2P, et cetera. But, for me, like some of the things that I'm excited about are when more and more interfaces start integrating more and more front ends start integrating THORChain on the back end so that people are able to swap trustlessly without, no KYC in a non-custodial fashion without even knowing that they're using THORChain on the back end. So Shapeshift, Trust Wallet, and more to come. I think that's an inevitable part of the future. And once that starts to happen, I think we really start to see the flywheel pick up.
I think Shapeshift there is one of the best examples, really, because shout out Eric Voorhees also. That man is an absolute legend in this space.
Is he also a Vanir Threads owner right now?
He is a THOR Force 1 owner, yes. Yeah. he loves his THOR Force. So shout out Eric. But the reason I sent Eric a pair of THOR Forces is just because I love his values, and they really do align with THORChain and the crypto economy in general. Like THORChain values and crypto values are one and the same, So, that's why we like Eric so much. He basically just tore out the back end of Shapeshift and said, no more KYC. I think their trading volumes were down like 99% after 2017. Yeah. After they integrated KYC, people weren't obviously, and rightfully, we're not happy about that. People don't want their privacy invaded like that. So now they have THORChain in the back end, and now they don't have KYC. And other companies are going to look to that and say, hey, we can have someone else manage our back end, and we can just focus on other stuff. Meanwhile, all the liquidity is right there. So we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Absolutely. And part of the beauty of that is, this is that composability of DeFi products. Like now, if you want to build an exchange product into your interface, you don't need to build a whole order book and secure funds and, spin up the network effect, and do market making and all this stuff. You can just plug your interface into a THORChain backend or any other AMM. Like say you just want to swap ERC20s or bet two assets, it's Pancake Swap, it's Sushi Swap, whatever. But then, relatively small teams of people, like 2 or 3 engineers can create a mobile app front end and then plug into the THORChain backend and take a piece of an affiliate commission on every trade. And if there's meaningful volume going through there, this is actually a very meaningful business model. Like MetaMask, they never had a business model before, and now they can collect affiliate commissions on trades that happen through the MetaMask swap feature. And it's like the only cash flow that like any consensus, project has right now almost. That's an exaggeration, but like it's the most meaningful cash flow I think of any consensus project. It's like millions of dollars a month. And so, like this could be a very meaningful business model, just affiliate commissions to front ends. And so I think we're going to see as we're already seeing, just a ton of innovation on the interface side. And now we have Shapeshift, we have THOR Wallet, we have XDeFi building swaps into it. We have a Skip Exchange, we have DeFi Spot. And so, I think we're seeing an ecosystem kind of in its nascency being born right now. Yeah,
I think MetaMask said they made somewhere between $200 and $500 million this year off of in-app swaps or something like that. It was an absurd number. I just read it on Twitter like last week. If someone's got the number, you guys can look it up. It was over $200 million in swaps in the last year. It might have been up to 5, but it's absolutely absurd. And that's just in Ethereum transactions on MetaMask. So, yeah.
Wow. All right. Excuse me while I stop recording now and go build a wallet. That's incredible. And, it's hopefully they divert some of that resource into like a UI or UX designer. Cause I think that, MetaMask could, use a lot of love in that department. Like we can really MetaMask, if you're listening, please, we beg you, we love you. You're doing great work. Let's polish things up a little bit and make this product a little bit more useful.
Let's get some two-factor authentication in there, please.
Anything. Yeah. So okay. We love THORChain, and we discovered it through Wall Street Bets.
Wall Street Bets God.
Not Wall Street Bets. WSP God. And then we found the white paper, the economics white paper. We geeked out, we nerded out, we love it. So how do we go from that into Vanir Threads? What kind of what was the thought process and how did that unfold?
Yeah, sure. I'm a big sneaker guy, and I don't have any coding or technical experience like that. And I've just wanted to contribute to the THORChain ecosystem. And over the summer, I had a dream where I saw the design for the THOR Force 1. It's so simple. It's just the split swoosh that creates the THORChain logo. And then the next day I was like, I didn't customize a sneaker before this. I've only, bought designs that I love. And I saw that design just in my head, and I thought that this is something that I actually need to make. So then I went out and I bought all the stuff, and then I made my first pair, which I'm wearing right now. I won't show it. Got on my foot. I'm wearing them. I'm wearing them right now. They're great. And then I had them in the vault. I just had them just sitting around for probably, a month and a half, 2 months. And then just randomly on Twitter, this was in late July, I saw that Baloney Bones made a tweet that more streetwear applications in crypto. Right? Like there should be more. He didn't use the word collaborations, but that's what I see when it comes to my mind, because like I love that world. So I literally just took pictures of them like the last weekend, like a couple days before. So I immediately just sent a picture to him, and he was like, "Holy shit, give me a call like right now." So then we hopped in a call, and then we just started talking about the THOR Force 1, and I was just listen. I just have a bunch of ideas. Like I just throw out ideas and just see how other people respond. And he looped in his brother, Wesley Crypto, who's now, basically like the lead advisor for THORChain. He helps me with absolutely everything. So shout out Wesley. Wesley and Bones are the two guys who really helped me create this into a brand, who helped make Vanir Threads into what it is. Even though we're not actually anything yet, but but we are we're making something here that is basically creating physical experiences with these digital brands. Because what I was thinking about is that I also love NFTs. I love I love shoes. I love physical products. Everyone loves physical products. We all live in the physical world. So why don't we have more representations of what it is that we're doing online in the metaverse, I guess you could call it, in this THORChain metaverse? Why don't we have more representations of that in reality? So that's where I wanted to get these out to the community. Like this is a community project. So this is the first venture of Vanir Threads, and then from here, like I have a bunch of other things that I want to accomplish with Vanir Threads, and it's not just THORChain either. It's with a bunch of different ecosystems that basically there's not enough physical representation in this space. It's all just ethereal, and I think that having physical things will tie people in closer to the brands of those ecosystems, including THORChain, Dot, Luna, and just as some examples of projects that we want to work in that space. So I think just creating more things, more like real things, but this isn't just a t-shirt that we're making and putting out there and selling to everybody. Like we want to make high quality products that people are really gonna just love from the minute they get them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you nailed it. Just on the concept piece alone, these cryptocurrencies, or these blockchains, these communities are lifestyle brands. That's where we get this intense tribalism, like Bitcoin maxis, Ethereum maxis, multi-chain maxis. Like we are there's something about that ecosystem that speaks to a piece of our values. Like love them or hate them, like Charles Hoskinson, like speaks to a certain type of person, and they embrace Cardano. Like, Craig Wright speaks to a certain kind of person, and they embrace whatever the hell Craig Wright's talking about. And so, for the THORChain ecosystem, like people who subscribe to the THORChain, kind of like worldview and philosophy and values, they identify themselves with the green rings on Twitter, and now maybe they own a Thor guard, and we love to rep these communities online. And why, it's an obvious jump from there. Like we would love to represent these things, with in-person, like IRL kind of instantiations of that lifestyle and that culture. And so, and then I'm just gushing here. So I'm going to go back to just gushing about this experience. So you sent me these, and I was extremely flattered. And when the box came,
for
anybody that's not listening, there's a really, this is not a normal shoebox. This is a magnetic clasp with it's matte black with a glossy gold inlay on the top. The THORChain logo. Oops, hit the mic there. It says THOR Force 1 in this like kind of gold inlay. And you open it up, it's a magnetic clasp. There's a gold inlay for Veneer. Oh my goodness, for Vanir Threads.
Beautiful.
Up on the top. And then the whole thing is color. It's color themed. So you have like the shoe itself is sitting there. It's white with like the THORChain lime, or not lime, but teal, green, aqua shoelaces, and then there's like the aqua tissue paper. You have these customized, I don't know, accessories like microfiber.
It's a lace bag. Call it a lace bag.
And then a bunch of swag in here, like THORChain.
Yeah, THORChain keychain. You can call that a multi-chain.
Multi-chain, I love it. Stickers for Vanir Thread and THORChain. And then a super thoughtful note that was, just kind of from the heart, thanking me for the contributions to the community and everything.
One thing you should show is the label on the side. This just like these little small things that I think of. Turn it to the side. I actually have names for all the colors on them. So that's Liquidity Pool Blue on the side.
LP
so,
Blue.
Liquidity Pool Blue, Thunder Green, Pure White, and Veneer Gold. That goes into the shoe. So that's those are the colors. That's the colorway. So when I buy products, those are the kind of details that I look for personally, just for what brings value to me as a consumer. And I want to shout out my favorite brand. That's Kith. And also, Ronnie Feig, the designer and founder of Kith, just bought an ape, bought a Bored Ape and a mutant a couple of days ago. Who my boy Franelations, who I had the pleasure of meeting at NFT NYC. We stood in line together for the Bored Ape Yacht Club.
Boat party.
Boat party at the Bright Moments Gallery. And we were talking a bit, and then I see a couple days, this is like 2 weeks later or something like that. Ronnie Feig just all of a sudden buys an ape. I'm just like, oh my God, this is one of my like streetwear like idols. Just one of the people who I look. That's what I was looking for when I made the THOR Force 1. I was like, what kind of details would he put into like this kind of it's a collaboration, really. It's permissionless collaboration. I just did it myself, but what would he do with this shoe? So. Now he's in the metaverse. He's a Bored Ape and a mutant. So we love to see it.
Amazing. We love to see it, and that's what I noticed going through the unboxing experience was actually all the details that we just mentioned, like super thoughtful implementation of the details. The entire experience. It was not a hastily thrown together product, and it was not a hastily kind of opportunistic kind of like, there's money in the THORChain community. Nobody's like I could make money by creating a shoe for them and then just like flipping it. This is not a quick flip item, and you can tell that there's a quote from Phil Libin, who's the founder and former CEO of Evernote, and I saw him talking at a presentation 9 years ago, 2013, and he said if you hold a product up to the light, you can kind of see the people who made it. You can kind of see their intentions. You can kind of see their values, and everything about this experience, spoke to someone who's actually truly passionate both about THORChain and everything THORChain stands for, and then also about the product in hand. And so major props to you for this. Thank you.
No, that's really what I look for is what would I really want as a consumer, and what would make it so that way when I'm scrolling through Twitter, when I look on Discord, what is it that I would see and then say like, and I would think about it at night. I would be like what kind of product would I see and be like, I am still thinking about that, even though my phone's off and I'm off the metaverse now. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about the THOR Force 1, and that's really all I've been thinking about since since I created it. Really, I've just been thinking about how to get it out to the community. So we're in the final steps right now. The THOR Swap team is helping just create the technical end of it. And then I believe we'll be releasing it via THORChads. So if you haven't checked your THORChad score, you should check the THORChad score right now. So because they're helping us out, we want to help them out as well. So THORChads THORForce.com is where you're going to be able to get your THOR Force 1 once it is ready to be out there. I finally just got all my boxes in yesterday. The process to get in 300 boxes of those of that quality was really not easy. I ordered these boxes months ago, and I actually just got them yesterday. So,
Oh, wow.
there's been reasons why I can't just put these out there. Also, it takes me about it takes me between like 3 and 5 hours to make each pair of these shoes. Actually, so like there's a lot of like actual effort that needs to go into these. They're all hand. I don't want to say handmade because it's a Nike Air Force One blank. Yes, they're handcrafted,
Hand modified.
From the original, and it takes a lot of time to do it all and to make sure that everything is in the best condition that it possibly can be. To make sure all the QC is good. There's no extra paint. That all my cuts are clean. And I'm not actually damaging anything. It takes a lot of time to finish all these shoes. So, it's an effort of love for the THORChain community.
Yeah, and walk us through what's happening here. Like you're painting. Are you unstitching the swoosh and then painting it, or are you painting it on the shoe and then you're cutting it in half and then you're moving the front half down and gluing it or sewing it?
I remove the stitching, take all the stitching out. That takes a lot. Like all this stuff takes way longer than it seems like it should. But I take the swoosh off, I hand paint them, and then reattach them. It sounds so simple, but it takes a lot of time. And like if you're out there and you're looking at these THOR Force ones, you can this is a permissionless system. Anyone can figure out how to make these. You can take a look at them, take a crack at your own.
And okay, so you're making 300 pairs, right?
So we'll be doing a mint event for 222 pairs. So I'm going to be in the lab for a good couple of months making every single pair for everybody. It'll be 222 pairs out to the community, and then we'll make the contract slightly larger so that way we can have some extra pairs for. Just for the community for the future. So that way, once this is done, there will be a couple extra pairs to basically give out in the future. They won't ever be sold or anything like that. Just some extra mints to have for posterity's sake, I guess you could say.
Okay. Oh man, it just occurs to me right now how much of a missed opportunity it was to not do a collaboration between Vanir Threads and THORGuard. Like make you guys a partner. I apologize. I don't even, it didn't even occur to me at the time. I don't think we connected when we started.
No. And it's all right. Like these things, they don't. This doesn't need to be our collaboration together. Like I have so many ideas for future products. Let me just throw one out there real quick.
Please, yeah. What's coming?
So my Grail project. This is the thing I really have been wanting to work on since the beginning, and this also came Twitter inspo. This is a tweet that I've been thinking about for probably like 8 months now, and that's the THOR Rolex. So if you like the craftsmanship of the THOR Force 1 and you're gonna absolutely love the THOR Rolex. We're thinking about doing a collection of one watches for our ecosystem and others. I have a picture of the Ethereum Rolex in my head, and so they're all going to be like, it's very similar to the claiming of a THOR Force 1, where it's going to be an NFT, and then you can claim the actual physical item. So this is all stuff that we have. It's all just like stewing in my mind right now. Once like the funding is secure, basically after the sale of the actual THOR Force ones, when I'm in the lab, there's someone whipping my back for like 2.5 months making every single pair of these. I'll be formulating the ideas for making the THOR Rolexes. And that's not all. There's so many other things that we're working on, but physical items take a lot of time. And you see how many not delays, but it takes a long time to put out even just purely digital products. You see NFT projects getting delayed, so many times. And that's just like, I'm not saying it's no work, but there's no physical component. Like I think I've waited like probably like 4 months for the, not 4 months, but I've waited probably 3 months for these boxes just to come in. So I can only imagine how long it's going to take to get all this other stuff done. But that's the beauty of the physical world. Once it's made, it can't be unmade, and someone will own it, someone will have it. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, like matter and energy cannot be destroyed; it can only be transferred. So this shit is made from the stars. So that's amazing. And count me in for a THORChain Rolex whenever that rolls out. If it's a customized submariner or anything, I've been thinking more and more about like watches as, I used to think of it as just a pure extravagance, but now I can actually appreciate it as a store of value. It's like there's ways to do, collectible watches. Ironically, NFTs got me thinking about that. It's like, high price JPEG. If it's got a community and a narrative, it can maintain or appreciate in value. And all of a sudden, something like a $250,000, Bored Ape or Ether Rock or CryptoPunk, it's not just a splurge and extravagance, but actually an item that can give you access, utility, flex, and kind of like status, but then also resale value in the event that you need liquidity in the future. So, yeah, let me know about like count me in for the Vanir Threads THORChain Rolex when that.
I will be letting everybody know. Don't worry. Everything that we're going to be doing, I really want to have the community have access to. Obviously, the price point of a THOR Rolex is going to be a lot higher, but I also have a lot of ideas for the more accessible items that anyone would be able to pick up, really, if you're in this ecosystem. So just look out for that. There's just a lot of art and like physical labor that has to go into these things. So just keep an eye out. Follow Vanir Threads on Twitter. Follow me, FamiliarCow on Twitter. That's the best place to see stuff. Join our Discord, Vanir Threads. It's all there. And I try to be like super transparent with everything. So if anyone has any questions or whatever like that, just like feel free to reach out to me. And if you want to help on our project, or you have an idea for a product or something like that and want to get it made, and you want help to get it made, or like you just have an idea and you want to throw it out there, get in touch with me.
Dude, I love the just the ethos and the openness that you build with. It was very apparent just through our earlier conversations, and then through the letter that you wrote me, and then also we had the pleasure of meeting in person at NFT NYC at one of our dinners. There's no ego, there's no humility, and it's all just like it's very much love going into this entire in this entire project for you, and it's very apparent. So I appreciate you for that. Thank you. So tell us a bit about like what we teased one thing, which is the Rolex, but what are some other ways in which this this project and this vision manifests itself? Like and also, actually, let me ask you this: you have the ideas part is easy, but the implementation, you're gonna have 220 of these things to create, and you're doing it by yourself. One takes a few hours. Do you think about how you might be able to scale that beyond just yourself, or is that something that you're not really concerned with right now?
Yeah, that's something I'm definitely thinking about. And as we're doing like higher, basically like 222 pairs, that's something I can just sit down and grind for a while. But for future items, like I will be working with actual artisans and craftsmen to create things, because that's really what I want. I want to give artists a spotlight in Vanir Threads, because that's really important in the NFT space, and that really it helps out the artists, and it just builds the community to be better, because artists create things that we love. That's what art is. It's just a representation of something. It doesn't even need to be from reality, but it's just something physical that we can own and enjoy. So I do want to give artists a platform to create things with Vanir Threads. And that is one of our projects that we're working on right now. We'll give it's a low low price physical item that will give people the ability to own some really awesome art from the THORChain ecosystem that hasn't been created yet, mind you. So, but I will tell you that everything that we're putting into it it's going to make it really cool. So I don't want to say too much because I don't want to let people down or have people speculate one way or the other. But we are making things that are going to be accessible to everybody, and I want to give artists that platform to make good things. And not everything is going to be handmade by me. Like I can't sit there with a with a hammer, blacksmithing away, So yes, exactly.
Wow. Is it too early to tease our hammer
this
idea?
is one of our ideas that one of the Vanir Threads collaborators, his name is he has connections with a awesome blacksmith. So he's currently making a sample for us right now, and we're going to be looking to release a very like this is going to be a pretty limited release. Like I don't really want to ship out 100 real Thor hammers, but yeah, we're looking to make sure that this is the kind of product we want to put out first. So I'm not going to say we're definitely going to be putting a bunch of these out, but yeah, this is something like that's the kind of stuff that we want to do. Like, what if you could own a real physical Mjolnir, a real Thor hammer, courtesy of Thor Guards of Vanir Threads. If this does come to fruition, which if the craftsmanship is where we need it to be, then if you have a Thor Guard, then you have a opportunity to get one of these real Mjolnirs. And that's just if you have if you're
Oh
a
my God.
blacksmith and you have the skills to create something cool, if you have a cool skill like that, put it to work for the community here. It doesn't need to be with Vanir Threads. It doesn't need to be with THORChain. But if you have these kinds of skills, you can apply it in the crypto space. You can really make something for other people that other people are going to absolutely love. So if you're doing something right now and you have these skills, you don't need technical skills to be in this ecosystem. You can provide value in other ways. So if you have skills, apply them in the crypto space. Get in touch with me. Create something with somebody else. Reach out to other people and network with people. That's what I think that everyone should be doing in this space.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I've had this conversation with friends from Chi Capital like Archon and Archon OX on the show, and that was what that's exactly the thinking that I applied to create Runebase and then Thor Guards, which was THORChain can seem to most like it is an extremely deep technical project, like a deep technical complexity, no way around it. But the ecosystem needs all sorts of other forms of contribution. I like you am not like a deep technical engineer. I'm not going to be working on the protocol. I'm not going to be submitting pull requests. But I am, I can, create content. I can, do podcast interviews. I can design. I can, and that's what's really cool about NFTs is NFTs create more surface area for, all of a sudden these new primitives are evolving where you don't need to be innovating at the protocol level as a protocol engineer to be contributing to the ecosystem anymore. And there is, it's like electricity or the internet, it's, the first people on the frontier are engineers and scientists and, mathematicians and those gigabrains. But over time, this kind of like enabling technology will touch and affect everything, and we can all find a role on that frontier and in that ecosystem. So really resonate with the message that you put out there, and that is get involved and collaborate. Yeah, that's super exciting. You mentioned you have a Discord. I'm curious, what are some of the conversations like? What is that community like? Are there other collaborators that are standing up? Other creators that are that are identifying themselves as potential collaboration partners? Like, what's the culture like in there, and what are you doing for it?
Yeah, there's some of that. It's very small. It's about 200 people right now, and
Cool.
there's only 10 Thor Force 1 holders right now. So it's like it's very cool. Everyone's just excited about Vanir Threads, and one of the things there's two things I really like about my Discord in particular, and that's the inspo channel. I post just like things that I see while scrolling that give me just make my brain like kind of move a little bit. And whenever I see something that's like really aesthetically pleasing, or things that maybe I want to work on something similar in the future, or just random things that I see that I'm just like, that's really cool, I just throw that in the inspo channel. And that's something I scroll through. And when I'm thinking about like what it is that I could be doing with Vanir Threads, I scroll through that's what you have to do. You have to look at a mood board or something like that. And so
Hmm.
that's what I like to do. And I want to see people contribute to what inspires you aesthetically, what inspires you artistically. And I'm not even an artistic guy, but I just love aesthetics. So if you like aesthetics, join Veneer Threads, and please post some inspo, because I want to get ideas. Like, I like looking at things and saying like why can't we do that? Also, we
Hmm.
have what did you wear today channel, where we just basically post pictures of us wearing THOR Force ones and then whatever other outfits we got going on. So yeah, those are two of my favorite things about our Discord. But it's really small right now, so please join up. And also, one thing I want to talk about a little bit. I want to talk about Thor guards, because I think that's a really exciting development for the THORChain community as a whole, because we haven't had a social place to talk and bond as a community. There's been technical places. There's been Thor Swap Discord or whatever, but who's making
Hmm.
connections in the Thor Swap Discord? There's just there's people that are like going into Thor Swap Discord. It's like, my swap isn't working. Like, what do I do? And then it's like people are like, the price is too low, and that's not creating any kind of community. But creating something like Thor guards was such a smart idea, honestly, that it's really going to expand the THORChain community, and just makes it deeper, and it ingrains it further into people, which is where I think the value lies.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. And right before you launched into that, I did hop into the Veneer Threads Discord, and just as you were talking, I was like checking out the info and the What Do You Wear channel, and awesome. So yeah, I'm in there now, and I'll drop some TF1 shout outs in there.
Sweet.
But yeah, no, thank you for the kind words about Thor guards. I think there's a lot that it kind of like I always say the word galvanize, like it strengthens
Yeah.
and adheres a lot of the cultural aspects of the Thorgard community, which I think was it was kind of a no brainer. Like, it wasn't the first NFT project for the Thorchain ecosystem. I think it was the first of its kind of ambition and scale. But there were others that came before, and they did great work, and there's still more that are coming out and continue to come out. But for me, it was is looking at a lot of things, like obviously like you, like how passionate, we are as
Hmm.
Thorchain fans and holders. And then also we were already using a visual indicator on Twitter and Discord and Telegram to indicate our, membership inside this community, which was the green circles, the green halos. Um, if you already have a community that are signifying their membership in a community through a modification like that, um, a well executed profile picture project is will take in that ecosystem. Um, and then there's so much we could do beyond that, and like building that NFT for that community. I mean, this is a DeFi L1, and we can create utility partnerships with all of the different ecosystem projects, and genuinely build an NFT that has like a tremendous amount of utility for the ecosystem. Um, and yeah, I thank you also for being a part of the crew. I see you with your Cybercone hat, green laser eyes, the Nine Realms armor.
I have to say that it's a fake Thor guard. It's not
Really?
There's not a real Thor guard. It's it's a fake. It's a fake.
You pieced it together yourself, like Photoshop?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
a Photoshop god over here. I have a awesome Thor guard that I like, but I it has a cybercone head, but um yeah, like I guess like part of the problem is that, like, I mean, you can see, like, I'm really white, but my avatar is not. And not that, I don't have a problem with that, but I think that it just doesn't represent me as well as what as what I wish it would, I guess. So, like, if you have a really cool Thor guard with a cone hat, hit me up, because I can't get rid of my cone hat, but
Dude,
if you have
Cybercone
another really
gang.
cool one, Cybercone gang for life.
Yes.
So that's where
Maybe,
I'm at. Or if
Jake.
anyone wants to make a mask for my Thor guard, I'll pay somebody to create my Marshalla mask on my Thor guard. So if anyone's willing to take up that project, let me know.
All right, now we're talking. So, oh man, I'm getting all sorts of collaboration ideas here. But Cybercone gang, I love the Cybercones as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Cybercone maxi, and it is my favorite attribute. I think the floor price on Cybercones is like over an ETH right now. So people are hodling. But yeah, we'll see if we can get you one. Maybe what we can do is look in the treasury, and then and do a swap one out for you if there's anything that we have that's of like kind of like
All
even
right. All right.
equal rarity. And yeah, floor for the Cybercone is 0.75 right now. Ooh, there's some mean looking Cybercones out here.
Yeah, they're all really
Um,
good. Like the Cybercone's one of my favorites. Like all the traits are just like, it's so good.
it's fun,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
it's just so cool. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about metaverse applications for Thor guards. Are there any
Mhm.
like what comes to mind when I say Thor guards metaverse?
Yeah, all sorts of different opportunities. There are kind of like there are plug and play like metaverses that are opening up to other 3D projects like Nifty Island, Sandbox, Decentraland, obviously.
Mhm.
So we are rigging our characters up and getting them ready for that, those kind of plugins. And we are also, so rigging is the process of kind of like creating the framework through which these can become animated and have motion, right? So right now they're just like, they're not designed for motion. And then rigging is like creating the skeleton that gives that gives an animator the ability to kind of like, these joints move this way and these joints move this way and these move this way, that kind of thing. And so we're going through that process, and then we're also planning to release a few things on our own. So that's going to be like our own like Web3 DApp for holders, a mobile app through which you can launch your Thor guards. You can see your Thor guard collection and then launch them in like an AR view panel, like from the camera. And so actually like land them on the table next to you, or land them on the floor and like take screenshots and mess around with them. In the distant horizon, maybe our like kind of Rolex collection, if you will, it would be, like I think a play to earn game is the ultimate instantiation of this kind of like character franchise. But that's a significant undertaking and not something that we want to promise too soon, unless we get out ahead of ourselves. But we do think like this is going to be a character franchise that
Oh
endures
yeah.
for years. What are all of the forms that can take? And we're excited to kind of explore that with all of our partners alongside of us and the community and the ecosystem around us. A lot of fun collaborations to come, including with you guys. I think we can do a lot of fun stuff. But maybe we do a Vanir Threads Cybercone. I mean,
Oh
like,
my God. Yeah, I'll have to think about how we can get that done. That'd be so cool. And
uh-huh.
you mentioned play to earn games as well. I just want to
Yep.
say how excited I am about the future of crypto gaming and everything like that. It's something that I didn't really know much about until about 2 months ago. And
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of joining a very exclusive exclusive crypto gaming group, Neo Tokyo. Shout out to there's a bunch of Zero X Ventures guys in Neo Tokyo, and as well, just the guys from the THORChain ecosystem. And I've just been learning a lot about crypto gaming and just really the metaverse in general. And I just want to say that that's one of the things that excites me the most about this space right now. And I think one of the things that's really going to endure, it's really going to stand the test of time, because right now gaming applications are very, it's like you buy the $60 game and you have like a cool experience. But what everyone really wants is the Ready Player One. What we want is to be able to live in that metaverse, that world, collect items, do cool things, play amazing games, and just be able to experience those those kinds of things. And I think that Facebook's move into the metaverse is going to be really good for this space. Actually, I think a lot of people are contentious about that, but I just think it creates more buzz about this entire thing. And I think metaverses will connect. It's going to take, this is not like a 1 year thing. This is a 30, 50 year project that's going to happen. I think, I can't wait to see Thorgars in the Ready Player One space that eventually comes to reality. So if you haven't looked into crypto gaming or anything like that, play to earn mechanics, it's just so interesting, and it fits so well with the Web3 user owned, user operated ethos of crypto, that it's just it's such a young space right now, and there's so much growth potential there. So this is your if you're watching this is your Wall Street Bets God moment to look into crypto gaming and just learn about the applications that are there. If you think that the biggest crypto game is going to be Axie Infinity, I don't know what it is that you're smoking right now. Because there's going to be so much bigger applications, broader applications than just one thing right now. That's just the biggest one right now. You think that's the best game that can ever be created with play to earn mechanics? I don't think so. I think that there's going to be really amazing things in the future, and I just can't wait to see NFT applications with metaverse, and it's just so exciting to me. It's one of the biggest things.
Yeah. Metaverse, play to earn, real world, digital physical crossovers. I think all of those are, really exciting frontiers that we're exploring now. And it's cool. It's actually cool to have, a platform and a horse in the race. It's surreal to think about this, but honestly, less than a year ago, I had been involved in THORChain early on, but I kind of went back to Web 2 in my software businesses over the bear market. And then came back into the space earlier this year, beginning of 2021. And I was, pretty much, except for the early ties, I really was, indistinguishable from any just, other fan of the project. But I made a commitment to get involved full time and to build stuff and fast forward to now, and we have the media is great, and now we have this this NFT project and platform with the community to where we could actually we genuinely see where we're able to innovate and do things that have never been done before with this platform, and not just make a derivative copycat, profile picture project, but actually a platform for innovation and for experimentation. So, it'll be cool to see, where we cross over in the future. So, dude, this has been an incredible conversation, Cal. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing with Vanir Threads and for the community, for the heart and the energy and the love that you're putting into both your project and the ecosystem as a whole. Where can people go to learn more about Vanir Threads and the work you're doing?
www.vanirthreads.com, twitter.com/VanirThreads, twitter.com/FamiliarCow. That's where you go. And our Discord, which is linked in all of those places. So check them out.
Awesome. FamiliarCow, Vanir Threads, thank you so much again for spending the time with us. Keep doing what you're doing, and we will collaborate more in the future. Thank you.